Hey guys, it's Anthony from ComicsEatingUp.net. Here are Anthony's pickups for August 2nd, 2017. I had a crazy week with buying a collection and a bunch of Silver Age and Bronze Age books, so I've added those onto this video, so make sure you watch to the end to see all the crazy stuff that I did pick up this week. It's a lot of key issues that are pretty good. My new comic stuff that I picked up this week, Galacticon #1, that's the new Eric Powell Albatross series. Seven to Eternity #8, just a great book. I picked up a couple of Dead of Winters #1. That one's already going for like 10-12 bucks on eBay. Predator Hunters, that's #3. So #4. That's been a great series. It's been a fantastic read, and I just love the way they're doing the logo so large. Normally that would be a kind of a turn-off towards a book, but it's pretty neat. Extremity #6, that's been a really good read. It's really hitting its stride. Hillbilly #7. Picked up a couple of these. Robotech #1, the Art Drum variants. They're going for 10-12 bucks already on eBay, so that's pretty good. Walking Dead #170, we did the preview for that. True Believers Avengers #1. Jack Kirby for $1. Remember that because that'll appear later. And same thing with Black Panther #1. I picked up a couple of these just because I know I can sell them for $3 or $4 once the movie comes out. So it'll be a small flip, but a flip all the same. But here's the rest of what I got this week.
Alright guys, so here's the rest of what I got this week. This is from Antique Stores, other comic shops, and from mail order. So this is the Antique Store dollar finds. First up, Star Wars 27. This is the 40th anniversary issue. These were $1 a piece. They go for like 10 to 12 bucks on eBay. I also picked up a couple of all-new X-Men or all-new Wolverine number 13 and 14. Again, dollar book. I was just filling in some holes with that because I can't pass them up. Frank Cho's always at Baltimore Comic Con, so Frank Cho variant for 9. What's that, 20 and 14. I'll have these signed. I've got about 55 Frank Cho variants for Harley Quinn now from mostly dollar bins that I'll have signed. Pick this one up. This is the Astonishing X-Men #1. This is the Mark Brooks variant. It was 10 bucks. I couldn't pass that up. As well as the Street Fighter and Friends #1. This is the 2017 swimsuit. This is the homage to Vampirella #1. Love that cover. Those are going for pretty decent money on eBay. Speaking of things that go for good money on eBay, these are like $25 books. It's He-Man and Thundercats #3. They go for like $20-25 on eBay. Pick those up for $1 a piece. And #2 as well. These are like $10 books. I'm going to bundle the #2 and 3 up on eBay and sell those. I had picked up a #1 of this a few weeks back, but Star Wars Blood Ties, Boba Fett is Dead. It's #2 and 3. Great books. They're about $10 books. So I got those all from the antique store that dabbles in comics. From another local comic shop, I picked these up. Star Wars #1. This is San Diego comic preview exclusive cover. I said to stay away from them. I found this one for cover price, so I had to grab it. Same thing with the Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe again #1. It's the previous exclusive 2017 San Diego Comic-Con variant. And coming out of San Diego this year was People of Earth Experiencer's Guide to Aliens. It's the free preview that they gave away at San Diego. Now this is kind of a funny story. I didn't have copies of these because they were sent out to Frankie's Comics for distribution, and I finally got copies in. Atoll #1, the regular, and the black and white Feeding Frenzy variant. These went over pretty well. There was a couple left, so I was able to finally get a copy. And I got a copy of Black #1, the variant cover that I did. I got in a 9.8 the other day for 20 bucks, so I wanted one to hang up on my wall. I have some framed comics that were site exclusives up on the wall, so it's pretty cool. Now, this is the Gone Generation #1. This is the Comic Mint variant. The time you guys are seeing this, your orders will have gone out. I had 30-some orders for it, which was pretty decent. Weapons of Mutant Destruction #1. This is hard to see. This is the Comic Mint variant as well. Astonishing X-Men #1 Terry Dodson variant. I got a really good deal on these, so I picked up 10 copies of them. I have them listed up on eBay. Fairly cheap, not charging an arm and a leg for. And Old Man Logan #25. This is the Color Splash, the Comic Mint variant. That's limited to 1,000 copies. I got 10 of these, so I have those up on eBay as well. So that's it. That's the rest of what I got this week. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you comment down in the comment section with what your pickups were this week. Alright, so I did part 2 of my pickups last night, and then sure enough, it's Sunday, and get a phone call from a friend of mine from high school who was like, hey, do you mind if I swing by and show you some comics that I have that I'm looking to get rid of? I'm thinking of taking them to the local store. They're offering me like 25 bucks a box. So he wanted to offer me the chance to have first dibs at anything in there. So here's what I picked up from him. Now, that's heartbreaking, but I'm sending this out to get it pressed. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. That's not a first printing, it's a third printing, but even the third printing can go for decent money. Along with that, he had a Fugitoid #1 first print. This is also going out for a press. It's in desperate need for a press, but these are things that I've been looking for years that I wanted to pick up, and I bought them as part of the collection. Here's a couple of things that I wanted to get that they're not going to go for a lot of money. I'm not selling them, I'm just going to keep them. But Incredible Hulk 377, for whatever reason I never picked this up. It's not the third print, which is the really hard one to come by. X-Force #11, first true appearance of Domino. These next couple are kind of neat. This is Spider-Man #1. This is the bagged edition, the silver foil bagged edition. These can go for okay money. They're not super rare, but anymore finding them bagged is next to impossible. Spider-Man #13. Again, it's the homage to #1 instead being in the black costume. And then the regular #1 bagged. Along with that, he had, and this is a really, really cool thing, Spider-Man #1. If you take a look, that's signed by Todd McFarlane, and it's got Todd McFarlane's store stamp. So back in the 90s, Todd McFarlane used to own a comic shop, and he used to do signed copies of Spider-Man #1. They're out there. They're kind of interesting. A lot of people don't know what they are, but that little spider stamp on the back was his basically a certificate of authenticity. But along with it, I got an Incredible Hulk '92. He didn't have a lot of new stuff, but to find a copy of the Planet Hulk issue was really cool. So let's move into like the really good stuff. I know none of this is really blowing you away. New Mutants '87. This is it's a very fine near mint copy. And it was just bagged, and it's been between other books that were bagged and boarded for years. This one, Preacher #1, it's a very, very nice copy. I would say it's definitely in the near mint range. It's really a beautiful copy. It was unbagged and unboarded, and it was between some Sandman stuff, like some of the later issues. And finally, New Mutants '98. It's a beautiful copy. It is the direct market copy. It is definitely in the near mint range. It's a nice looking book. It's probably better than the one that I have, so I couldn't pass that up. Alright, so this really is the last time for the week, I promise. I meant to film this last night, but I'm going to do this real quick on my way into work. I came across an antique store that had some older stuff for $1. They had a sign up in the window saying they had old comics for $1. I can't pass up old comics for $1. So I went in to check it and see what they had, and here's what I got. So grabbed a stack, and these are crusty. They're very worn, but grabbed a stack of Old Gods from DC for $1. I'll show you that. That one's #2 with a great Dark Side cover there at the top. It's #11. #7, you can see this one's really rolled and old. they could stand to use a pressing. But again, for a buck, I'm not passing up old Jack Kirby comics. Here we go with number 3. They're complete, though. That's the one thing I will say. Some of the covers have detached. Like number 10, the cover was detached, and somebody stapled it on. Again, it's $1. But then I started getting into some really good stuff, like Captain America 102. This one, it's in pretty great shape, all things considered, for how old it was and the fact it wasn't bagged and boarded probably for 40 years. And then I got into the really, really cool stuff. This one was a buck. This is Tales of Suspense number 41. It is very crusty and old, but it's the 3rd appearance of Iron Man. And this one I just flipped when I saw it because it's something that I've wanted for a while. It is very crusty again. It's not in mint condition by any means. But there we go. Marvel Superheroes number 12. First appearance of Captain Marvel. I couldn't believe that I found this in a dollar bin. The spine's a little split, but it's an overall pretty decent shape considering, like I said, it's been not bagged and boarded for the past probably 40 years. This is like an old barn find or somebody's attic or something, down somebody's basement for the past 40 years, and they finally sold it through an estate sale, and I was able to pick these up for $1 a piece. Everything else in there was pretty much ragged or missing covers or just not really desirable books. But again, for $1 a piece, could not pass these up. So that's it. I promise that's all my pickups this week. Thanks for watching.